before I start this, I just want to say, I don't want to like fearmonger or scare anyone. I just want to take this video because I think this is a really important video. A lot of news regarding the Postal Service kind of dropped today here and there while I was at work. Some of my coworkers sending me things, and I was like, okay, I have to get home, and once I get home, I really got to record this video. But I think it's not going to be a very good one in terms of like the actual content of it. It's not going to be good content. It's going to be bad content. So first, fight like hell. Shout out to all the people and all the carriers and all the other, labor unions. If you went out and supported your fellow letter carriers on March 23rd, which was yesterday, Sunday, which was the National Day of Action. We had rallies all across the country. Mine was in downtown San Jose, local 193. And then there was the other local that represents Santa Clara. It was really cool. I'll probably put some videos taken by myself and my girlfriend. She came and supported, so that was dope. I'll put them, right now or something like that.
Fight back! Your post office under attack! What do you do? Fight back! Your post office under attack! What do you do? Fight back! Your post office under attack! Protect your mail! Protect your mail! Protect your mail!
Protect your mail! Services that have existed and worked so well for so long. And we're gonna fight them at every turn. We're gonna fight to save the Postal Service. We're gonna fight for our letter carriers, because when we do that, we're fighting for our parents, our children. We're fighting for medication arriving in the mailbox. We're fighting for personal letters coming from overseas and arriving in the mailbox. We are fighting to make sure that invoices and bills get paid on time. And we're fighting so ballots arrive in the mailbox.
So the big thing that I guess happened today is our contract got approved, or our contract got awarded in arbitration, through the arbitration process with the arbitrator and then obviously NALC and the United States Postal Service. Wasn't good. The only good part about it is that it's finally done. We got an extra 0.1% on general wage increase on the second year raise. So it goes 1.3, 1.4 on the 2024 raise, and then the 2025 raise is going to be 1.5. So by going to arbitration, we gained 0.3% more in the general wage increases. Everything else was the same. We're getting a little bit more of the uniform allowance. I think May 21st, 2025, we will be given $521. I think that's when the contract, May 21st is when the contract's going to go into effect. So that's when our pay raises will get, put in. And then basically a couple months later is when we get our back pay. I just hope that our back pay is quick, because this is ridiculous. We need to get our, get everyone their money, because, what's coming down the pipeline is not good. So I'm just saying, I'm glad it's over. And the other thing too is DeJoy, Postmaster General DeJoy, officially stepped down today. Giving the reins over to Doug Tulino, who's the Deputy Postmaster General, and now basically the Board of Governors is going to look around for a new Postmaster General that obviously Trump is going to have a say in, and then obviously the Board of Governors is going to appoint them to then lead the Postal Service going forward. So good. I think DeJoy stepping down is a good thing, but I mean, in all actuality, it's not a good thing, because who is going to replace him is going to be someone who's way more pro-privatization, way more MAGA, way more destruction of the federal government and public services. So it's not good. But that chapter in Delivering for America is pretty much over. Now it didn't work from what we're still hemorrhaging money. Service standards tanked. Staffing didn't get that much better. So those were those two things. So I'm going to title this video, I think the United States Postal Service, or I think USPS is going private. And I really do think that we are going towards privatization. So with everything I just said, with DeJoy stepping down, our measly, pathetic contract that finally got approved, the whole Doge thing where DeJoy signed a last-ditch effort, letter signing an agreement with Elon Musk and Doge to, find additional efficiencies within the Postal Service to help, bring down expenses and try to balance, reduce the deficit and balance the Postal Service's budget and stuff like that. I think we're going private, and it's really sad to see. The rally was really dope, where I got to finally kind of participate in some civil action and have some skin in the game and stuff like that. I do think we're going to go towards privatization. I think the Trump administration is going to do what they can to push for that. With the contract being terrible, DeJoy stepping down, it all kind of culminates into what I think is going to be a full-on restructuring and privatization effort, for the Postal Service. Now, why do I think that? First, let's say, okay, what is privatization, right? I think some people don't maybe not know what privatization is, or they just don't really understand exactly what it is. Privatization in this instance is taking a public service, so like the Postal Service, like Social Security, like Amtrak, which operates the federal rail system, taking that public service from being taxpayer funded, meaning that tax receipts collected in from the IRS go into the Treasury, and the Treasury then pays for those services. Now, the Post Office is a little different because we have our own money. We do take money from Congress and the president in appropriation bills, but we do cover all of our overhead through sale of postage. Before the United States Postal Service in 1970, when it was the Post Office Department, when it was a cabinet position, it was fully taxpayer funded. So we're semi-taxpayer funded now. So, but we have a public service obligation outlined by Congress and in the Constitution to be provided to the American people. So privatization is taking away the public service aspect to deliver the service for the public, and changing that over to a shareholder / profit motive model, meaning that you are going to operate the service in order to make money for shareholders and for the people that are then going to invest into the company. Why is privatization bad? Privatization is bad when a certain popular and very necessary public service that needs to operate as a public service and cannot be corrupted by profit motive. When it takes over a service like that, what it does is it gets rid of that public service obligation and puts it towards just basically how can you do whatever to make the most amount of money, and it's going to destroy service standards. It is going to hurt rural, this is specifically for the post office, it's going to hurt rural communities. It's going to hurt city communities. It is going to raise the prices because the post office acts as a buffer to keep other e-commerce, parcel rates down, right? So with privatization, we are going to lose a lot of the things that makes the Postal Service great, like, the public service obligation, low prices, affordable prices, and being able to reach a ton of addresses, 169 million addresses in the country. Oh, it is hot. I gotta open the door a little bit. Woo! It is hot in California, especially in the Bay Area right now, San Jose. So what else? I think this, I got my laptop again. I think this one is crazy, and I think this is why we're going private. So I just want to read, this is the main thing that I'm like, this is crazy. So out of all of those different things that happened today and happened last week and all the stuff that's going on with the Postal Service and the Trump administration and the privatization efforts of the federal government, this one is crazy. Wells Fargo, this is from Jacobin.com. They're definitely left-leaning type ordeal. But I found this. Wells Fargo is plotting to privatize the Postal Service. So basically what happened is I don't know if it was leaked or if it was just published to Wells Fargo's, Wells Fargo's main page, or however they market, different sort of consulting and financial reports for whoever wants to buy them, a government, a private corporation, a private citizen. But they released a report basically that outlines the way that someone would go about privatizing the Postal Service. Now, my understanding of it is that they're probably going to try to sell this report and the consulting services to someone or an organization or an administration that wants to look to privatize the Postal Service. So it's really telling it. They go through a lot of you know, things regarding the Postal Service. They say that one, you know, for the new private company to earn a decent profit, USPS would need to raise prices by 30 to 140% across its product line. Okay. They also want to keep the mail, like the mail industry, like the mail infrastructure of the post office operated by the government, but they want to segment the parcel delivery service out and make that a for-profit only service and have it basically compete against FedEx and UPS. And they want the mailing portion of the now private postal service to basically be operated about 5 days a week instead of 6 days, to help bring down that burden of that 6 day of delivery that costs the post office a lot of money, because there's not always a lot of packages or mail on a Saturday, and you know, a lot of businesses that still use mail are closed, and different stuff like that. So they also talked about the real estate value of the Postal Service's real estate assets, $88 billion. That is right there a total reason why Trump's administration and the government would love to privatize the Postal Service and just absolutely give out all of that real estate to, you know, corporate bidders and wealthy bidders and stuff like that want that real estate. It's crazy, man. This is wild. And they talk about that the public loves the post office enough that this might be tricky. But the kicker, the big way that they say that you can do this, because they say it might be hard to try to get people on board and get representatives and senators on board to get a bill like this passed. What you could do is you could put it into a budget resolution. So let me right here. No, a budget reconciliation. Due to the broad public affection for the United States Postal Service and the unlikelihood of bipartisan support for privatization, the memo recommends a backdoor strategy of getting it done through a budget reconciliation bill. The authors also raised the possibility that Trump could replace the Postal Board of Governors with people who implement policies, you know, that wouldn't go against him. I'm pretty sure a budget reconciliation bill is the bill that you pass after you've defined the budget. I'm not too sure. It's either before you define the budget or it's after, and that's actually setting what the budget's going to be. And so what you would do is and the scary part is what does Trump want to do? Trump wants to create for fiscal year 2026. They passed the budget to continue funding the government till the end of fiscal year 2025, which ends September 31st, 2025. October 1st, 2025 is the first day of fiscal year 2026. That's when Trump's budget has to be done and passed, so that fiscal year 2026 is all of the Trump administration's required or wanted budget. That's when they're going to privatize the Postal Service. You watch. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. Right now. You can come back to this video and you can be like, damn, he was right. Or you can come back to this video and say, nope, you were hella wrong. Everything's good, which I hope it is. I like my job. I want to keep it. I hope you like your job. I hope you keep it. I think they're going to privatize in that big, beautiful bill. Trump goes, we have one big, beautiful bill that they want to do to get everything passed that Trump wants to do. Tariffs, tax cuts, privatization. They're going to put it all in one big bill. They're going to put it through the House. It's going to get past the House. We've already seen our freaking senators, Democrats, not put up any fight in the Senate. They're not going to put up a fight again. And they're going to pass it in the Senate. Trump's going to sign it into law. Postal Service is going to go private. And you know what that means? We strike. We strike. We strike. We're no longer federal employees. If you move it to a private function, you move that certain aspect of the Postal Service to a private function, we no longer have to honor the contract that says we cannot strike, and we do not have to honor the federal legislation that says federal employees can't strike, because we're no longer federal employees. They are going to cut our benefits. They are going to take us off of FERS. FERS is the Federal Employee Retirement System, which letter carriers currently fall under. They will remove us from that in privatization. With that, we strike. That's it. A nationwide letter carrier strike if they privatize. That's the only last thing we can do, because they are going to do it in fiscal year 2026. The budget that they are going to pass for the fiscal year of 2026, they are going to try and put a piece, or like a piece within that big bill that says we are now moving the Postal Service to sure, it might get debated in court. It might get sued by the Postal Board of Governors and by the unions and by the National Mailing Association, the large mailers and stuff like that, their association, their nonprofit kind of conglomerate. But it doesn't matter. He's gonna say nope, it's private, and we'll start acting like it is. So I hope it's not, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think I might be a little bit right in this situation. But who knows? Hey, Renfro, hopefully, we fight like hell.